Hello, hello. It is time for another beauty class. Beauty class is in session. Today, I'm going to do hands down my most asked about video of all times. How to highlight, how to contour. I'm going to do like an easy one for you because let's be honest. Highlighting and contouring gets a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? People are a little bit shy away from it because they're intimidated by it. And it really is not that difficult. A few easy steps, you can add it into your everyday makeup. You can add it into your glam day makeup, just to kind of highlight and contour those areas, to help kind of chisel some cheekbones, kind of minimize your forehead, your nose, that kind of thing. Highlight under your under eyes to really wake your face up and really brighten your eyes. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to kind of walk you through different options you can use at each step and that kind of thing. So I've already prepped my face. So I use a setting spray. I have oily skin, so I always spray a setting spray on my skin right now, so you can see that I have that little bit of shine. That's from the setting spray dry, and then I already have applied primer. I'm using today our hydrating primer. It is our most grippiest. I like it the best is why I'm using it basically. It leaves you with a tackiness so that your foundation has something to stick to and hold on. I talked previously in kind of like the how-tos of foundation on why you need a primer and all that kind of stuff. So if you are wondering about that, just head over to that video about the foundation and everything is in there. So my face is ready and I'm ready to prep it. So there's a few different options that you can do when you are doing highlighting and contouring. When you are sculpting your face, that's what you're doing. I am obviously using all unique products today. There's tons of different sculpting, highlighting, contouring palettes out there, tons. Right from powder ones to liquids to anything. I'm going to show you different kind of ways that you can use our products, the unique products, to highlight or to sculpt out your face. But first, I'm going to apply some foundation. I'm using my liquid foundation today. I like using my liquid foundation when I am going to sculpt my face, just because the foundation leaves a really nice a really nice powdery finish without feeling thick or heavy and stuff like that, because I'm going to add on a few different layers of product. So you need a base to start with when you are doing your highlight and contouring. You can use the liquid foundation. Some people will use a BB cream. The BB cream is probably our lightest, on the lighter side of coverage, definitely. And it is also very light wearing because it absorbs into your skin, so you don't need so you don't definitely feel it throughout the day. I've already done my brows, so I'm just trying to apply my foundation easily in there. I'm going to just take a smidgen of concealer. So I've already done my brows, and I just need to get the highlight color kind of off of them. So I'm just taking a little bit of stick foundation with my concealer brush to kind of get that color off, so without having to disturb my brows. So when you're doing your brows, just a little tip, if you want to keep them really crisp and precise, use some kind of small brush like that, and then just go with your concealer color and blend and really chisel them out like that. So my foundation doesn't need to cover fully because you are going to go in with all of your other products to sculpt out, but you just need a base. I don't set it, I don't do anything. I just apply the base, and then I will set later on, and we'll get there. I'm going ahead of myself. So you still can see like my under eyes. You can still see a few of my blemishes and stuff like that. But again, we're going to use other products. So I don't really go too heavy on my foundation, just because I feel if I go too heavy on my foundation, and then once I apply all the rest of the products, it just feels really, 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 really heavy. Okay, so from here, whether or not you highlight or you're contouring first, it is totally preference. 100% preference. So what you need to remember is highlighting is the lightening up the areas of your face. Contouring is darkening and deepening the hollows of your face. So you're going to do your cheekbones, you'll do your forehead, you can sculpt out your nose, underneath here, your jawline. And when you're doing that, you are just kind of helping hollow them out, and then you're going to apply a highlight to pop out the higher areas, if that makes sense too. So I am going to start with my contour. So the darker shade. So there's a few different options that you can do when you were doing contouring. I personally, my favorite is using the bronzer. So I have a shade a little bit darker in my bronzer. I feel like this gets the most natural. Unique does not carry bronzer anymore, so you would just have to kind of pick up whichever one you prefer. I stocked up so I didn't run out. Also too, with the bronzer, when you do pick a bronzer to do as your highlight, it's really important not to get a full on shimmer one. So it's best to get a matte one. So this one is a half matte, half shimmer, because you do not want to highlight with a shimmer bronzer. Or sorry, you don't want to contour with a shimmer bronzer because it just looks really, really silly. So if you are going to use a bronzer, be very, very sure that is a matte bronzer. You can also, while I'm on the talk of powders, you can also get a pressed powder that is darker. This is not darker, but you can get a pressed powder and use that to highlight because it is matte. It works totally fine. You can also use a darker shade of concealer. So you can get this in a shade or two darker than your foundation, and you can use that and it'll work perfectly great. Another one is your stick foundation. Your stick foundation works really, really well because it is a stick, so you can literally just apply it where you need and then just blend it. Also too, with the stick foundations, when you're doing your foundation, if you're kind of looking for something really quick and easy to get you out the door, but you really love that kind of contoured, sculpted look, then just get two different colors of foundation, a darker and a lighter, and then you would just apply the darker shade all over, then you apply the lighter shade in the highlight areas, blend it, and it is so easy and quick to get you out the door in the morning, and then you still have that really sculpted look. But like I said, I'm going to start with my bronzer today. But first, you guys, you know what? I'm going to start with my highlight. For some odd reason, I just enjoy it a little bit more. Okay, so for highlight, hands down, the easiest method is using our concealer. Our concealer is now Wanded. This is our new concealer. It does have that caffeine in it, so it gives you that extra little boost and plumping effect underneath your under eyes to really, really help kind of wake you up in the morning and stuff like that. You can use a powder to do as a highlight. It just won't work as well. As well too, you can totally get a lighter shade of your stick foundation and use that as well for your highlighting as well as your contouring. But I'm going to use the concealer today because it's my jam and I love it. So you're going to need the concealer, you're going to need a blending bud, and you're going to need something to dampen it. I usually just dampen it with my setting spray because then it kind of kills two birds with one stone. So when you're dampening, when you're blending out your highlight color underneath your under eye, you have a lot of those little tiny fine lines and stuff. So when you dampen it with the setting spray, it just helps lock it in place so that you really minimize the creasing throughout the day. Okay, so now what's very important is how you place your color underneath your under eye. Placing your concealer once in the dot, or do a dot in the corner of your eye. With this, you need very, very small amount of product because less is more, because it blends out like a dream. So I always apply my eye first. Doing it this way is going to help pull and kind of brighten your eyes, lift your eyes out. Because I have my eyes done, you're not going to notice a drastic difference. But when you apply it with like no eye makeup eyes, like tired looking eyes, then you're going to really notice the difference that it pulls up. And then just dampen your blending bud and then start blending. When you blend, do not blend too high up into your, don't blend too high up into your eye, because that is going to really accentuate those fine lines underneath your under eye. And let's be honest, who wants that? And then just apply underneath and up. Do not go any further into the nose than, I need one of those like tiny, tiny ones. Don't apply any further than on the nose until here. And then just blend, blend, blend. And it'll just first start, you won't notice a huge difference until you apply that contrasting, like the contouring part to it. And then just blend, blend, blend. It also doing this will also help you kind of chisel out that eye look that you created. I feel like I got a little bit too much. on here. That's when we leaving. I'm just taking, this is our cream brush. It's a synthetic brush, so I just like to take it and go underneath the under eye to blend out anything that didn't get blended well, because I don't like to get too high up there. When you are blending with some kind of brush, whether or not you are blending your whole eye with a brush or what it is, it's important to get a brush that has synthetic fibers so that it's way easier to clean than something like this that you shouldn't use. It's just way easier to clean. So I've done my under eyes, and you are going to look funny when you do this at the beginning, but don't fret. Once you're all done, it all comes together. Now I'm going to do my forehead, down the bridge of my nose, over top of my lip, and then on my chin. And I'll just explain to you. So with this concealer, less is more, definitely. So you need a very small amount. And then just dab and blend it in. So doing it over top of your lip like that just highlights that V in the middle of your lip and just will help accentuate your upper lip. So if you have really small upper lip, then totally add that in and it'll make a world of a difference. So you can, so because I'm doing this with a powder, when I am done with my, because I am doing this with a liquid, when I am done with my contour and I set my face, or before, after you set your face, whatever, either or, I am going to take a highlight, a shimmer highlight, a luminizer, and I'm going to hit all of the high areas just to give you that extra little bit of a glow. So again, don't fret, because I look ridiculous. I know. Totally cool. So that is your highlight color. Under your under eyes and up so that you can pull your eyes up. And the idea is that you're giving yourself a facelift. Whenever you apply your contour, it's going to be up. Your blush, it's going to be up because you want to pull everything up so that you're giving yourself that instant like facelift look without having a facelift. So up and in. Your forehead, I don't even know why your forehead, and then over top your lip, and then we're going to do a little bit of something on the bottom of your lip to help really pop up in your lips. We had a little bit of, there we go. It doesn't look so weird. Okay, so now back to contour. I explained all about contour. Now I'm going to do it. So I like to use our powder puff or powder concealer brush. I love this brush. It's life. Because I like to use the small end to kind of chisel everything out, and then the big end to blend it. It blends like a dream. So if you were going to use the stick foundation or concealer, you would blend it with your beauty blender again, and then you could go over top of it with your kabuki brush just to make sure that everything is blended. But it works best if you are, when you want to contour, if you are contouring with your concealer or your stick foundation, it's always best to use your beauty blender to contour that. So I'm going to show you here. Let's put these back. Okay, so I'm going to take my small end. I'm going to get some product. I'm going to start no further than the tip of your brow. Anything back here is just ridiculous. So you can actually see that I have kind of like a natural line there. So what you're going to do is you're going to take you can feel the hollow in your face, and that's exactly where you want to do it. No matter how round your face is, no matter how chubby your cheeks are, all of that stuff, you will always have a natural hollow. So that is the line that you want to follow. So I put your product on, take it at the tail end of your eyebrow, and then make a harsh line back. I do a harsh line, and you're going to blend it, so don't worry. Other side. But it makes such a huge difference just doing that. Like, hello. Nose. So I go on each side of my nose. And then I go on just the tip of my nose. You can contour it according to like your nose shape. But I have a pretty like average-ish nose, I would say. So I just do on the inners and the tip. If you have a larger nose and you want to kind of sculpt it to minimize the size of it, here I'm just kind of like tailoring it in, if you know what I mean. Somebody had described it one time as making a ski slope out of your nose. 100%. I was like, yes, that is exactly what I do. So then do that. And then underneath your lip. So what that does is it creates a shadow, so it makes your bottom lip appear poutier. So the top color will highlight and kind of accentuate and kind of almost flip up your top lip. This will flip it down just to give you an appearance of bigger lips. Now I flip it over to take my big side, and then I just blend it in my forehead. Always blend into your hairline, just to really shadows. So if you are somebody that struggles with a bigger forehead, or you're not happy with the size of your forehead, throw a little bit of bronzer or contour up in your forehead, and boom, you got a smaller forehead. Okay, so now I have my bigger brush. I'm going to just blend this in. So I start and I blend back, and then I do a little half kind of twist into my temple, just so that I'm kind of meeting up here and blending it all in so it looks as natural as can be. Doesn't that look pretty? Like, I wish that every day I could contour. And it's, you guys, it's something that gets easier as you do it, and it makes the world's biggest difference. Like, you take a picture of your face done with no contouring, and then done with contouring, and it makes a world of a difference. So there, I'm just blending just to kind of get rid of a little bit those harsh lines, but then the contour is still there. Then I take it and go around into your jawline, go as far up in here as you can, just so that you don't have any lines, and then go into your chin. So this is just getting rid of your double chin and your jowls. There we go. I feel like I might need a little bit of, sometimes I get carried away on that, but doesn't it look amazing? Okay, so now you're going to, you can either set this now, or you can add on the blush and the luminizer. I have been adding on my blush and my luminizer because of masks and stuff like that, but normally prior to masks, I would just spray this and then do my blush and luminizer. So let's add on some blush. I'm going to use the color Stunning today because it is my favorite. So when you are doing blush, super important, your placement on your blush. I used to always tell everybody to go like this and then do it right on your cheeks. No, don't do that anymore. It just makes your face look way rounder. So when you're taking your brush, it's also very important when you're using blush to get a brush that is really flexible. So I prefer an angled. You can do more of a flat head, whatever. I just really prefer more of an angled brush that has a lot of movement. You just need something that has a lot of movement, because then it's going to blend that much easier and be that much more natural. So starting at the kind of right here and go up. So you do your contour, your blush, and then you're going to do your luminizer. And then I just pat it on and kind of wisp it around, just so that you don't have a really harsh blush line, but you still get that pop of color to kind of give you that little bit of a healthy glow back. And then I always dab a little bit on my nose. I have no idea why. I just love the way it looks. So the idea of blush is that it's going to give you back that color. So once you apply your foundation, whether or not you highlight and contour or sculpt it out, you always need to add some blush. The foundation will completely whitewash your face, and you need to add a little bit more color back into there. So adding a little bit of blush is what you need. And then go up. So again, you're going up to kind of create that instant facelift. So there is that. Now I'm going to get out my fan brush, and I'm going to get out my powder luminizer. right now, got all sorts of goodies in here. You guys have you know how you have a junk drawer? I have like a junk drawer for makeup. So this powder luminizer, a fan brush. I like to use a fan brush just because it gives you a really natural placement. So you want it just above your blush. So on your cheeks, your nose, the bridge of your nose, or your top lip, and your chin. You can do your forehead, but because I tend to be more on the oily side, I stay away from doing it on my forehead just because I feel like it just kind of accentuates any kind of oil that I get throughout the day. There you go. So now, so with our luminizers, you can get, there's tons of different colors that you can get. Luminizer is 100% just on preference. Obviously, depending on your skin tone, if you're more on the darker side of the skin tone, then you can kind of get into those deeper, darker colors of luminizer. But basically, luminizer, it's 100% preference on what you, I got a hair on me, on what kind of color of luminizer you want. Okay, so from here, I'm going to set my face. But I have a hair on me. Look at that, a little fuzzy. It bit into me. So I'm going to set my face. I have been actually really enjoying, which is odd for me. So this is just a translucent setting powder. I'm going to take a big fluffy brush and I'm going to start by setting where I applied my concealer. So right underneath my under eye, forehead area, over top of my nose. So it is translucent in color, so it won't disrupt your blush and all of that fun stuff. But it will kind of, I don't want to say dim it a little bit, but it will mattify everything. So just dabbing it in and pressing it into your skin. But that's it, you guys. That is highlighting and contouring. What do you think? It is really not that difficult. Once you find the products that you like and you are happy with to use, then it is even that much easier. It's all in deciding on what products that you like to use and are comfortable with using on your highlighting and contouring. So when you figure out that you really love the combination of the two different colors of stick foundation, then it'll be like, oh yes, why didn't I do this every single day, Jen? I find the best to do my concealer. I will highlight every single day, regardless of if I'm using a BB cream or a powder foundation, liquid foundation. Every single day I highlight just so that I give my face that instant perk up. Taking that extra few seconds in your makeup in the morning to kind of add a little bit of highlight underneath your under eye makes a world of a difference, trust me. So even start with small things. So start with throwing in the concealer or the stick foundation. I kind of alternate between which ones I use, either the concealer or stick foundation. The stick foundation is a little bit quicker to get out of the door, but either or works perfectly fine. So try adding that in first and then just go from there. So if you have any more questions about it, feel free to shoot me a message. And if you do want to snag any of products to highlight and contour, to sculpt out your face, shoot me a message and I can kind of walk you through on what will be the best and kind of what colors to go from there. So thanks. I will be back. Class is dismissed.